Guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the fourth installment of the 1956 Ford Fairlane Victoria build, and I'm here with my 74 Galaxy to show you guys a few details about the white block engine. That's always good to know. First of all, here you guys can see that seam I talked about on the last video on top of the exhaust manifold. That's not smooth, so if you sand your exhaust manifold smooth, it's actually not going to be as accurate if you leave the seam on. There is some details on the white block V8 that very few kit companies got right, and one of those details is actually the oil pump down there. It has a pickup tube. See if I can show you guys. It has a pickup tube there on the frame. No, it won't light enough, but it has a pickup tube there on the oil pan that goes to the oil pump on the back, and the white block has a external oil pump, and only the Rivial kits have this. So the Rivial white block engine from their 57 Ford kit is the most accurate if you want to kit bash, but even them forgot this little bypass hose here that connects the water pump to the intake manifold, and this is something that would be quite easy to scratch build. Here you have the oil breather tube. On those engines, it's not they don't have a PCV valve. It has a road draft tube on the back, and this is the fresh air entrance for the crankcase, and also the oil entrance for the crankcase. And another detail here on the back, you can see the white block Ford distributor. It's on the back of the engine, and the distributor is not straight up. It does not point straight up. It is crooked to the side because it has to the driving chain, the driving gear on the distributor actually reaches to the oil pump that's on the other side of the engine. So that's why the distributor is crooked to the side. So if you are building a white block powered car, you have to have a distributor that's not in the middle and that's crooked to the side. And it looks more or less like this. It's not really easy to build a correct and functional looking white block, and most of them I don't see the point of wiring, because the wiring just won't show that all that nice. They all go under the exhaust manifold to the back, more or less like a 57 Chevy. And the white block is my favorite overhead valve engine, and that's for sure. I really love this engine. It has tons of torque. It's a completely different animal from the Windsor 302 that Ford installed on our Galaxies here in Brazil from 1976 and up. And yes, I have one of those. I have a 1982 with a 302 from the factory. Major differences: distributor on the front, much smaller engine in physical size, even though it's bigger in the cubic inch displacement. And the 302 is a fair more common animal to find in scale and correct in scale. And that's why I wanted to show you guys a 1/1 scale Y block, just to show what you can and should do if you are going an extra mile and detail a little more your Y block Ford. By the way, the Y block had two positions for the dipstick. It could be right here, mostly on truck applications, and for cars right here on the front. This alternator support here, it's a Brazilian only piece. It was not used on American Y blocks, but most, if not all, parts will interchange with American Y blocks. This engine, for example, it has the Brazilian block, the Brazilian 292 block. It has American made heads because those heads have bigger intake valves. It has a American intake manifold because I converted mine from two barrel to a 4 barrel. And I am using a Ford carburetor, an Autolite 4100, that works perfect with this engine, and it goes straight on the intake without any kind of adapter. So this engine is kind of a multinational effort. Brazilian block, Brazilian crank, American heads, American intake, American carburetor. It has an American cam, a Scandinavian cam. So Y block parts are pretty much interchangeable, no matter where they were built, and those engines will run forever. But enough of engines, and let's go to the model car, to the 56 Ford. That is just about this bit from being done. Let's go there. So guys, here we are in the 25 times smaller world if compared to what I just showed you. And let's take a look at some parts, shall we? Here, it's the dash of the 56 Ford. It's ready to rock and roll. All detail painted. Just missing the horn ring. And there she goes. Dash. So let's put it here and go on. Here's the interior tube. Just a little bit of foil here on this emblem. Foil on the sides. Foil here on the other side. This is the hardest part of the kit to foil. Done. Thank God. Here we have the engine. The detail paint is done. Here you have the oil breather cap. Here you have the vacuum operated heater valve, fuel pump, oil filter, clutch cover, starter, ready to be assembled. Door panels, both of them. Foil work done. Here they go. Wheels, or better, well covers. I did the detail painting on the well covers. Here around they are black where the car wheel will show. I painted the emblem and glued a custom made decal on the center of the well cover. All four of them done. All four of them done. And here we have the valve covers, black painted, and with the Ford name picked. This Ford name there is not correct. It should read Thunderbird Special, but AMT didn't know that. Here we have the chassis. It's all detail painted. Exhaust tubes are steel. Gas tank is steel. The mufflers are aluminum. You see here where I picked up the parking brake cables. Ready to go. Here we have some of the chrome. On the rear emblem I did the black wash here. The V emblem with the Fairlane script that goes on the trunk. Grill. The grill. I did a black wash on the grill, and this is kind of hard because the detail on the grill is very shallow. Here we have the rear end with the differential carrier painted the red oxide as it should be. Here's a preview on how it's gonna look. All the other parts are painted too, but well. Here's the underside of the front splash pan. Oops. With the bumper brackets picked up. Well, we have a few other parts here. Here you have the doors, foiled. And ready to go. I have to go find the other door before I step on it. No, I didn't. I didn't step on it. Here it is. Driver door. And the most important part of all, the almighty body. It's foiled, completely foiled, and with the glass installed. Headliner is white. No, I didn't bother about those because they are a pain in the ass to sand, and well, nobody will see, right? Not building anything perfect here. I did some detailing on the wiring, on the firewall. That was all brush painted. I have a decal to glue here on the washer bag. All this foil is homemade. And since we are talking about custom made decals, I'm gonna show you guys what I did to make my life easier. This here. It's printed on clear decal paper. It looks white because of the paper itself behind. And it will go here on the end of the trim, so I don't have to paint out those little squares. I'm cheating. This guy cheats. Rear bumper. Front bumper. Well, basically all the rest that's missing from here, it's in here. Not much, as you guys can see. On this kit I got 2 metal axles. Yay! Even though it only uses one on the back, as the front wheels are posable. Well, now it's just a case of putting all those parts together. Wish me luck, guys. Everything goes right nicely, and maybe tomorrow or on Friday I'll have a video of this beast fully built, and I'm done with it. Good news. Good news for me. Doing this car, I had a order to do a build for a friend of mine, and he wants me to build, you guessed, a hot rod 56 Ford for him. Friend of mine here from Brazil. And he's been watching the videos on this car, and he said he wants one, but hot-headed with some sport wheels and with a 2.4 barrel engine. Well, I am almost always happy to help a friend, right? And before I finish up this video, I'm gonna show you guys a tip if you want to build the 56 Ford kit. I don't know if you ever had this kit on hand, but if you had, you'll notice the dash and the interior, they don't have quite a positive attaching point here. It's kind of vague here on the side, more or less wherever it floats. If you just glue them like these little square here would apparently indicate your dash will point down like this. Not good. So one thing I learned building many of those is you foil the body, you glue the glass to the body, then you get your dash, put your dash in place here on the body, glue your dash here on the inside of the body in place, right? Where it sits perfectly against the glass. And just then you put the interior tub on. That will make your life much more easy when installing the dash, and you won't have to guess anything, and the thing won't explode on your hand. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Have a great end of week, and until the next one, bye bye.